Hi, everyone, and thanks, Kathleen, for keeping everybody welcomed while I was dealing with some technical issues. What's going on, folks? What's the news out in the world?
Who wants to go to Washington with me? I am just incensed at the individuals down there. Um, I was all the crap going on with I don't know who elected Elon Musk, but I just wonder what's going to happen. How is it going to impact us locally? Um, if they're holding up everything or want to hold up everything, what's going to happen with Feeding America? HEPNAP, all of the benefits that people need locally.
Oh, good questions.
I'm very frustrated. I have been writing um, our congressmen, senators. Um, I get a weekly email. Kirsten Hillebrand has her weekly blurb. Everything she's working on. So every week I email her about something or other. And she does respond, or her person in the office responds. I don't know who does, but at least they acknowledge I have written. I also am part of this. I joined this. It's called Card Campaign. And it's a national group of people who it actually started last year, concerned about the government, local and federal way of life. They are people who do things in a more peaceful manner. And this card campaign is if you have an issue you want to explain to somebody who has a different view of a subject, they give you this thing so you can do it in a kind, polite, calm manner, and just ask that they think about how you might, these are how you feel. Would they think about it? And that's all you do. You can leave it anywhere. You don't have to even put it publicly. Um, but that was the latest one this week. They only send 1 to 2 emails a month, um, if you sign up to get them. And they have their cards, as they call them. But they present good issues and well thought out reasons behind why they feel the way they do, which happens to fall in line with the way I feel. Um, so if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll give you the website and go from there. There, I'm off my political step stool.
Maybe political, Pat, but I've been telling people here, that given what's happening, we can expect more families coming and higher cost. And so, I just think that's going to be normal, and I worry.
I do too, Kerm. Um, I was had started, and I've been thinking this. We have gone up from a year ago. We're up almost 100 families, and in the last 6 months, we're serving between 150 and 155 families per week. Um, Last month alone, it was like 603 total for the month with a 12,000 and some people. If you look at it that way in the months, and the costs are going up. And it's like before I could figure like on 144, give or take. Now I have to base it on 155 to 160 families a week. Um, so it shows in the amount of food I have to order. And thank God for HEPNAP and TFAP because they have been supplying. I mean, they've cut my bill in half. Last time the savings in HEPNAP was twice what it was that I actually purchased from um, wholesale. So thank God for that. But I also wonder how much longer that program can hold water.
We're also seeing a rise in a number of people dramatically. And
No, I've been
with these new tariffs now, who knows what's going to happen?
between that and the bird flu. Um, I've been grateful that eggs have been kept napped for a couple of weeks now because I know they're not going to be that way forever, and I can't imagine. I mean, I did notice the jump in price on a couple of things, but they were, like butter had gone up some. I didn't buy it, but it had gone up some. And I have been buying margin right along, and I can't imagine when you have it again, how much more that's going to be. So we shall see.
We've also seen an increase. And what we've seen an increase in is deliveries because we do deliveries by request. If our pantry was nothing but deliveries, we could deliver 5 days a week. And we still wouldn't have enough time slots. Part of it is we can't have volunteers drive our agency vehicles because of insurance reasons. So we have to have a paid staff member. And, and Tasha she only does deliveries once a week on Fridays, but we have families that come and deliver. We have staff that deliver on their way home. And we also have a supportive housing program that now there's a possibility of 135 people just there in supportive housing. They don't all get a pantry, but somebody comes and packs their pantry and then they get a delivery. So Tasha's doing deliveries for roughly 23 people throughout Tompkins County. We cover the whole county.
Oh my God.
So we get referrals for deliveries 3-4 a week.
Your pantry through, Glenda?
Tompkins Community Action.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because when you said, I don't know what I thought.
We just started tracking deliveries really the first of the year. So we have it's a pain to get it off the statistical, but we're tracking how many people come that we deliver to, or how many people come in to shop, how many people we do curbside, and how many we deliver to. So we've got those statistics starting 1st of January. And you're right, the deliveries are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Kerm, do you have a special delivery category when you do your entry into Fresh Track or Simsy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we have that too. Why do you think it's difficult to track that statistic then?
Well, I've been complaining regularly about the new statistics, whatever that's called. What'd you say? It's not Fresh Track anymore. It's
the Simsy?
Simsy.
Yeah, that one. It's so slow and so cumbersome. Now the people that are putting the information in say, "Oh, it's great, it's better."
Right.
No, it's not, because you have to go through 5 screens to register one person.
Well, I counted trying to get statistics off, and I counted 20 clicks that I could do pretty easily without, and then not finish up. It just
we're not using Simsy yet, so we're just starting to do the data entry. So yes, it's more friendly to do the data entry, but we aren't ready to get any information out of there yet. So
yeah, well, you can get it.
After you put the new people, go ahead, Kim or Kerm.
There's a in-service coming up, a Zoom on getting on using it, or getting the statistics off. So
to check it out.
Yeah. Sorry, Jane.
I was just going to say, I don't do the statistics part, Kerm. Somebody else does it, but I'd like to be able to go back and see how many new families we have. And you can't do that through SimSy. You have to look at view the history of each of the people that come in for that particular day to see if it's today is their first visit,
Yes.
which
That's
that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And the fact that when somebody comes in to log them in, you have to go through 5 screens to get them logged in completely. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
trying to compare especially new people, when at the beginning of the year when we started, everybody was new. And
Right,
so
right,
you can't track
right.
new people on a month by month basis.
Right.
Yep. Yes, I have. And she said there's more important things than that to worry about. But it's ridiculous. It's twice as long to register somebody that comes in the door.
I think all of this feedback, though, as a whole, is super important. And Terry is tracking all of that because
Mhm.
that one might not be the highest priority, but all of it together, these things can get improved in the system. There's
Mhm.
no reason they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. No,
And
I've
is
asked her
good. Is it
about the
5
new
screens, though, when it's a
five,
repeat
yes, 5
returning
screens.
person? Okay.
Yes, 5 screens. And as I said, the whole new thing, I wasn't sure if I was looking in the right section to pull up the new people. And she says, no, you are. You got to go through to view their history, which on a Monday, for instance, like today, we had several new families. Well, I would like to be able to go back in and see who those new families were and how many new people it brought in. And I can't do that without clicking every single individual that came in today to see, to view their history. So that's crazy.
Yeah, because like you're saying, currently in the Fresh Track, once your pantry's done for that day, you can look and there'll be an indication all
Right.
these people who were new families, you can see at a glance kind of thing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then it gives you a total of people or whatever. But then if you
Mhm.
wanted to go in, well, it sort of gives you the number of people in that one column.
Right.
Um,
It tells
It
you how
tells me
many
how
were
many new
new, but
families.
it
Yeah.
doesn't tell you who that new person was and where they're from, you
yeah.
know.
So have you guys, pardon me, and I know a lot of you have already bumped this up to Terry, but have each of these concerns been elevated to Terry? Because like
Yes.
Kathleen said, she is tracking all of this. It is new to us. It's new across the country to so many food banks. Nothing is great right out the gate. So
Mhm.
with your constant feedback, and then it does take time, but don't stop sharing this. Keep giving it to
Terry
us
is,
because we need this.
yeah, Terry is doing a great job answering questions. So
Aw,
she's good.
And she gets right back to you, that which is great too.
Yes.
love to hear that. Okay, there's something in the chat real quick. Okay. So Kathleen, you put in the chat basically what I just asked. So good to know. They can do
So
just
I
make
have
sure that we're doing the feedback loops.
yeah. So I have a couple of things. I know this was brought up the last time I was on the office hours. I don't know if it's a couple weeks ago. This is the bags that we're having trouble with. They break open. So I don't know, and we're still receiving them. So it was about a month ago. I think Pat brought it up that
Yeah.
they're splitting open. But we're still getting the same brand and we're still having problems with it.
So I did bump that to ops. I'm not sure what step they or stage they were in to check it out. I know that
Okay.
they were how they usually do this is we give them feedback on a product, they'll go spot check and open up a case to see if they can see what everybody is seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard anything back, but I'll nudge them again and make sure that they're checking make sure that it's good. Let me throw that in the
Okay.
chat.
All right. And the other thing I wanted to ask about is there was tomatoes on the list, the order list for today. We got them. And there's no amount or how they come or poundage or nothing on there as far as information. So I reached out to Stefan and said, is this a case of tomatoes? Is it a flat of tomatoes? Is it by pounds or what? And so he looked into it and said, it's a case of 40 to 50 tomatoes. So I gave him the feedback that it's it's helpful to us to know how it comes so
Sure.
we know how much to order when we're ordering in bulk. Well, when they came today, they were little flats that had maybe 15 tomatoes. So I ordered according to what he told me, 40 to 50 tomatoes in a case. But they came, as I said, in a flat, and there were 15. Thus, we didn't have nearly enough.
Got that one down. I'll look into that. We have been consistently requesting that as much information gets put on the menu as possible, and they're really trying to get as much information on. It gets a little, sometimes we cut corners if we have
Yeah.
multiple trucks coming in at once and it has to get into the cooler or freezer. It's no excuse, but we will go ahead and notify ops again about, hey, there's just not enough information on
Mhm.
what the
Well,
product is for ordering.
and I think we ran into the same thing with cabbage. Like I don't know if it says a bag of cabbage or whatever, but the last or 50 pounds or whatever it said, I can't remember. But we got them, and I swear the cabbages were this big.
Dude.
They were
And
huge.
so I got like 4 cabbages to a bag.
So they were 50-pound bags.
Well, yeah, I don't know what they were.
They're 50-pound bags that were repacked by volunteers. So depending on the sizes of those heads of cabbage, you could get
Okay.
anywhere from 8 to 15, depending on those
Yes.
sizes. And there just is
Yes.
no other way to determine that because you can't just have different sizes
Mm-hmm.
listed.
Mm-hmm.
And the only consistent thing is weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the other thing that we could do is add the weight and maybe say anywhere from 8 to 15. It's not really the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
solution because you're still kind of
Or
playing.
extra or super large cabbages or something. But yeah, it really is difficult to determine
Yeah,
how much do I order? You know what I mean?
Well,
I
even
do.
instead of weight, an approximation of 6 to 8 cabbages per bag, that tells you they're probably medium or large to extra large or whatever.
Right.
Amanda doesn't want to hear this probably, but we have been known to slice them in two.
I
Oh,
don't
no,
want to hear that.
a fictitious person comes in. They sneak in the night.
Kerm, we
Yeah.
are recording this.
I'll share your jail
Yes.
cell, Kerm.
That will be on YouTube.
It will be
Oh,
on
right.
YouTube.
I've seen myself on YouTube. I
That'll be the
really
next
don't like
one,
it.
yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't
these
find them
cabbages
on
we got,
YouTube.
I
the
got 10.
cabbages we got a few weeks ago, you could have sliced them in fours. They were so big.
They were ginormous. They're and we
Yeah.
I was in the cooler last week on a Wednesday and we just had oodles of them. And they're like big bags. Like you could fit like a dead body in these bags.
Yes. Yes.
And they're just loaded up with these green balls. These huge green basketballs. Grabbing all the notes, guys. So if I go quiet, it's because I'm writing down notes. Was there anything else you wanted to share out, Jean?
No, well, I reached out to Stefan regarding that. So is he the person I should reach out to, or is there somebody
absolutely.
else? Okay, all right. I wasn't sure
Absolutely.
if there was somebody else I should ask, but he's the one I did. So,
He's
and he got right back
PPC.
to me. So,
He's your PPC is always going to be your first stop.
okay, all right.
They generally have the knowledge to answer 95 to 99% of the questions that you have. That
Okay,
one
great.
little teeny tiny little smidgen of questions that are very specific to food resource, like retail recovery or your grants. Yeah, you might need somebody else, but they're very wise and knowledgeable.
Perfect.
What else, guys?
The recordings, the
Yeah, go ahead.
recordings on YouTube. I'm not a YouTube person, so are we talking YouTube like you get through the internet? Are we talking YouTube TV?
We have our own YouTube channel where we upload trainings and videos and such to our YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. You can just go to follow the link and it's going to take you to that video, which is usually how folks are accessing it from either our events calendar or the newsletter or our weekly digests that I send out.
Okay, so that will take you to the recordings on YouTube. Okay,
Yes.
because I went and searched for Food Bank of the Southern Tier on YouTube and I came up with nothing. So
What
That's a
is
good
the,
point. We can go ahead and share out like the information on our YouTube channel so that people can access it and see all the things that are on there. There's some stuff that is definitely outdated, but yeah,
is
Yeah.
food safety on there?
it sure is.
Okay, I have a question. I know that you can read through everything like the script from it all. Is that acceptable if they're not, if they notify, um, oh, shoot, the people that they read through this? Is that acceptable, or should they watch the YouTube video?
I defer to Eric on that. That's Eric's training. I don't it's been a while since I've looked at it. I think there might actually be visual aids that he's referencing, so you might actually
Okay.
have to watch the video, but I can't say for certain. Eric can confirm that.
What's his last name? I can't remember.
Powers, Eric Powers.
Like he has powers.
And people are taking that training constantly because he assigns me a task to file all their food safety certificates, and I'm like, how did I get all these overdue tasks? Because he drops like 20 of them on me at a time. So it's out there. People are using it, and we're getting good feedback on it, and that it's user friendly. So
Okay. Um,
we can also ask that. So
it, it I have mixed feelings because I know when you watch the video or you watch a live one, there's so many other little tidbits that, I mean, this is just an outline really. And there's so many other things that people ask questions or they throw in comments or, give you hints that I have misgivings about it. I know Nancy has done the civil rights training, but she has done it that way. She has all of the pages. They read through it all,
mm,
and then they have to sign um, that they have done that. So again, I don't know.
civil rights is a little different because it's very linear. It's not like, look at this, let me show you what this is, an example of something that should
Yeah.
be thrown away. This is just really just information, and that's why we put it in multiple different ways to absorb. So whether you want to read it by going through flipping through the pages or watching a video, attending it live in person, whatever your preferred learning style is.
With that particular thing, we're finding more and more people are willing to do that than take the time to watch a video. Or, I mean, it used to be before we all had to come to the food bank. And
You ain't got time for that. We ain't got
Thank
time for
you.
that.
we don't yet,
You
it's
guys are
literally,
busy.
we don't have people that are willing to do that. So,
And
um,
so there's still a small population that really enjoys coming in and having somebody to talk to and explain the things in real time, which is fine. We will make the time for the in space for folks that prefer that. But at the same time, if the bulk of people just want to watch a video or read a document, let's do that. We put enough demands on you.
well, I think that some volunteers, especially the older ones, are like, one more thing,
Exactly.
one more thing. And it's some of them are set in their ways and they're going to do what they're going to do, and that's what they're going to do. I've done it this way for 20 years, and as long as they're not violating everything, okay. Do your time, go home.
Yep. We feel it too because we get it coming down from OGS, the USDA, HIPNAP, Feeding America, one more thing. And it's usually 20 more things at once. So we feel your pain on that. Absolutely. What'd you put in the chat, Kathleen? Especially when it's a recertification. Yes. And so I did make a note, Kathleen, to talk to Eric about that to see if it's because that's a good point for recertification. You've been through it, you've absorbed all this information once already. And even if you are CPR first aid certified, you can go through a recert and it's not as in depth. Kind of like fast track it. Good points. All right, we're halfway through our time. What else, guys?
I was wondering, Kerm, how you doing without Betty?
that was really unfortunate. Um, they found Betty. She was in the car, still in her driveway, on her way to the food cupboard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
And
She was larger than life.
When was
yes, she
this,
was.
Herb?
About well, come about 2 weeks ago. Um,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
she volunteered for a long, long time.
Yeah.
She was the one of the, she's a character. She
Yes,
was
she
one of,
was.
she was an interesting person. She was affectionately called Barefoot Betty. At home, the woman, I don't care what time of the year it was, she never wore shoes. Um, she was gruff, she was tough, she'd give you the shirt off her back.
Yep.
If you knew if she liked you or she didn't. Um, but
No, she was a character, and but she was there all the time. Um, she did car inspections
yeah,
um, at her house, and she had a before everybody left. She said you could donate to the food cupboard. It's right there, and she'd bring in people that left $2 and $5 and $10, and
good
and
for her.
every food cupboard she'd have three, four, five of those little wrapped. They're about an inch and a half square with cash in them. That she wrapped up. Yeah,
Wow.
really, really interesting person.
did she have any family? I mean, I knew her husband passed away.
One son. Yep,
One son.
yep.
Well, I thought about you and
Thank
wondered
you.
what.
Yep.
I mean, I know she was a hard worker. I have no idea how old she even was.
71.
Oh, so
Oh,
young.
it's not old.
Massive heart attack. Yeah.
Well, that's the way to go if you get a choice.
Wow.
Okay, I brought enough
You,
down.
you,
I
you
need
brought it down. Okay. So since you brought it down, how about I bring us back up?
Okay.
Everybody on the call, because I happen to have in my possession a $25 coupon um for like either a ham, a turkey, groceries, or whatever, and I need to find a home for it. And it has a an expiration date of April 30th, just in time for Easter. One of you guys is going to get it in the mail, and I need to find out who. So because you hopped on the call, you're going to get entered. Ring a ding ding. Let's see who it is. And it is Bill.
Oh.
Woo!
Congratulations. Woohoo!
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All you had to do is hop on the call.
Excellent.
That's the way I planned it.
Hey,
Smart man.
you're all right.
Man. All right. Well, that was a thank you guys for getting that off my desk for starters. James walks in last week, is like, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, I do. Like, I got a wonderful group of folks that are going to be on a call with me Monday night. So what else is happening, guys?
Did you
Did you have an open office hours on 128?
Did I?
Yeah,
Did I? What day though?
I had it written down, but
Let's look. One
there was
day is
nothing
that?
happened when I tried to sign on. So I just wanted to make sure.
Is that the day that I was late? I think that was the day that I was
Tuesday?
late. Yeah, it was that
Yeah,
Tuesday. That's
Tuesday.
the day that I was
Oh.
late.
Yeah, I waited 15 minutes and then I thought, well, I just screwed up. So I just wanted to follow up and make sure.
No, you were right, and I must have started it right after you hung up.
See, now if you had a spin around on that day, I would have lost out because I didn't wait 15 minutes. So I have to know what
Right?
the parameters are here.
Yeah.
So what's happened is I have missed an entire meeting and been late to 2 meetings so far this calendar year. And I
That's
have
first
now
strikes.
I know. So I have gone in and put 20-minute buffers before each meeting now and after each meeting. And I
I've
still have a
file
10,
with you.
I still have like a 10-minute window, but that's it in between my meeting and then that Tuesday at 11:30 open office hours.
Don't you
So
have a
I've got
watch
time to
that
run to use the restroom and then hop on the call. And
don't you have a watch that tells you these things? This has been telling me since Sunday that I had a meeting today.
wear a watch. Time is a
Oh,
time is
It's an it's an
human
iWatch.
construct. It's
I mean,
not
this
real.
thing, I have to tell you about my watch. If I should do anything and I make the sudden movement, it comes on. I get this ding and a buzzing, and it says, "It appears you've taken a fall. Should I call 911?" And if you don't respond to that within 45 seconds, it will call 911. There was a
Well,
guy on the news that he was either rock face climbing or he was skiing and fell off a cliff and he was unconscious and his watch registered that and he didn't respond, so it called 911 and they rescued him
well, that's wonderful.
because it
But
has GPS in
But,
it.
But
but
yeah, there's a
my
big
but,
gosh,
but.
Pat, how many times has 911 to get called for you?
Well, I'm very careful when I feel that buzzing. I know and I dismiss it. But my point is, it's hooked to my calendar
mm.
on my phone
Mhm.
and it tells me all upcoming events. Mine's been dinging every half hour all day long saying I had a meeting with you.
Jeez,
You need
that's
to
a heck
get
of
a
an
watch.
alarm. I don't like to wear anything on my wrists, really. I struggle with even bracelets. I have a cell phone, but when I'm at work, I turn the volume off. So, and if I'm in a meeting, I don't bring my laptop. I go in with pen and paper. So if a meeting's running over, I'm not paying attention to time. I
You're a freewheeler.
I am, well, it's not that I'm a freewheeler. I know if I have a computer in front of me and I'm in a meeting, I'm not going to pay attention. I know myself. So I get rid of the distraction. And at the same time, like, I need somebody else to watch a clock for me because I don't have one. Hopefully that won't happen again, though, Gene Ellen. And I'll be making
oh,
that Tuesday at 11:30.
Okay.
We need to get you a support dog that can tell time.
Yes, I will not complain about that. I
Is there
hope
ones that tell time?
I have no
Well,
idea.
my cat can tell time. It knows exactly when it's time to be fed. It's time for
Yeah.
bedtime snacks. And she will
Right?
nag. Yep. I won't tell the other sad thing, but I lost one of my kitties a week ago.
Oh, that is sad.
So it's hard supporting his sister who is lost.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my 3 strikes for sad things.
Mm, bad. All right. Anything else, folks?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
The next time that the food bank orders those little food bank signs that we hang on glass, you
Yeah.
want them in the windows, put the sticky on the side where the writing is instead of on the back.
We have both.
Oh, okay.
Do you need one of the window clings?
I taped up the other one, but I thought they were all the same, that they were all just sticky on the back. So I didn't want to hang it on the outside of the glass.
Okay. Ew. Just wrote myself a note to send you the window cling one. We
Thank
don't
you.
have many of the window clings yet left, but we got enough. What is this, Kathleen? 5 calls?
Yeah, I bet Kerm knows. Well, actually, Kerm, you
Uh,
just contact people directly all the time. But
can you
I,
share a little bit more about that?
well, it's something that I learned on a podcast from AOC, trying to like figure out ways to be connected and involved right now. And is my chat thing coming up as massive, or is it a regular size? The note that I just put in the chat, is it
Just
like
says
It seems
enlarged,
no, it
normal?
seems it
it's
actually
just normal print.
Okay,
it's smaller than the last two, but
It's enormous on my screen. And I'm like, why is that happening? Do you ever have that? It's like an
Yeah.
accessibility thing. Great, but I can't figure out how to change it. Anyway, so yeah, I just learned about it. And when you open up the app, you see um, different topics, right? So it's like asking you what's important to you, and then it gives you, for example, if I want to protect diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, if I want to oppose Robert F. Kennedy for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, if I want to condemn a U.S. takeover of Gaza, for example, then there's some information there, and then it says call senators, House rep. If I want to call the attorney general. Anyway, it's just interesting to see, and I think super helpful. I haven't used it called yet, but I just stop the dismantling of U.S. aid.
Oh,
So,
yes, dear God.
um, so then it gives me, so you open up, stop the dismantling of U.S. aid, and it gives a current update from this one's from 2/8, so it's not today's. Um, and then you put your location in and it tells you, which probably most of you already know, who to contact. But it gives some speaking points. And I just think it's one of the ways of
Mm-hmm.
navigating all of the bombardment of news and not like sitting in overwhelm, which again, I think of you all as very skilled around this, but I think a lot of us aren't. So that's a little tidbit that I learned about this weekend.
Thanks for that, Kathleen. Actually,
Yeah,
so I just
that's
went and
great.
found the, oh, sorry, Jean Ellen.
No, I was just agreeing that that is
Oh.
great, and I'm glad the link is posted up there.
Has
You're
anyone
welcome.
used it or used it before?
Mm-mm.
No, I wasn't even
No.
aware of it.
So
Just
I just put the link for the Google Play Store as well as the iPhone store, the App Store. So both links are in the chat, depending on what type of phone you have. If you're interested, go ahead, check it out. Diving into all the things today.
It's interesting because in making a couple of phone calls, I went in to see one of our assembly people, um, Paul Massaro, and he's really good. I enjoy talking with him. And I said that I had just contacted the legislator and he hadn't got back with me yet. And uh, I said I was really. He said, "Were you talking about food?" And I said, "Well, no, I was complaining about Musk." And he said, "Well, they probably won't get back to you because they've been overwhelmed with
Yeah,
people calling about that."
good.
And so it was interesting, though.
I think of the people that come to us, and if they don't get their Social Security, if they don't get their SNAP, I mean, well, I shouldn't say a lot because I really don't know, but I know that some of them their retirement may solely be Social Security. And what in God's name if they're going to do if it's late? I mean, we haven't even got our statements from Social Security, which were supposed to be in December, and we had to call Social Security, and maybe it'll get us to us in 1 or 2 weeks. Um, who knows with all this nonsense going on?
Can can I throw in another funny?
Sure, would you please?
Um, do you remember when you needed help with something last week and Aaron helped you and you responded back, "Thank you. Now if only you could help me figure out this Social Security paperwork." He sent that to Bree and myself, and I love you, Aaron. So if you see this, know that this is being shared with love. He sent that to us. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, she's joking. I was like, she's pulling your leg. She's joking.
He's conscientious.
He very much is. He didn't know how to help you, and he was asking for help to figure it out. I was like, oh gosh, take everything Pat says to you with a bucket of salt.
I put a big old LOL after it. Well,
I
it was
I
weird.
missed that.
I put the order in and boom, within 5 minutes, I got my copy and I'm going, what were you sitting there waiting for me? He is so fast.
He's on it.
Oh, I'll have to send him an email just as soon as I think of something equally outrageous to
Yes,
say.
something absolutely ridiculous.
But your appreciation emails, we really cherish those, Pat. Taking the time for an appreciation goes a long way because as just like with all of you, like we get complaints, right? And so when you take that time and it's something in writing and people can really hold on to that. So thank you for doing that. And you're
Well,
really good at
Yep.
that.
well, I've been in positions where everybody that quote, and I mean this not how it sounds, have been under my command, so to speak. You don't always get a whole lot of thanks. So when I see it, um, in a home care agency where I was in charge of the aides that went out into the community, I had this thing that I called them, I caught you. And they were notes that I wrote out to them, like, I caught you doing something good because so-and-so called and said, remarked or whatever, I caught them doing good. So um, that was a lot of fun. So those are my I caught you notes.
Nice. I like that.
Plus my mother always said, say thank you. Don't hold on to it. People need to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Wise words.
On
Well, she
another
had
note,
some,
on another note, I've been exploring insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've got no real good answers yet, but I'm still exploring insurance.
um, we tried doing that we have insurance because of our building, because of our vehicles. We tried to see if we could find something better, and they all just laughed at us and they said, you got what you have right now is about the best you're going to get for the amount of money you're spending. So either they didn't want a new customer or they were telling us the truth.
Well, what led up to this is that we had a volunteer at church last fall, um, that that tore a ligament,
Ah,
um, and and the operation was about $20,000. And so there's 1,700 that's deductible. So my question was, can we get insurance to cover um, volunteers above and beyond what they personally have? And I know we had that at work, so it's available out there somewheres. And so I'm kind of looking into that because I'm starting to think more and more, especially about people that are doing deliveries,
yeah.
and all volunteers out there. So
Well,
I'm
we do have insurance on our building, if somebody gets hurt, and we do have the insurance for her vehicles. So I guess we're in our situation is different because you don't own your building.
yeah,
And
but that's liability. That's not health and
oh,
and so
well, that's what
forth.
I'm saying, that we have that to cover those kinds of things. Because we
Your
did have
liability
someone,
won't cover that.
we had a
You
person,
have, you look. Your liability is not going to cover
all right,
volunteer insurance. Workers' comp will cover people on payroll,
Employees, yeah.
but they won't cover volunteers.
Your liability insurance should cover if somebody gets hurt.
yeah, one of our volunteers was working in the pantry,
Yeah.
and they were building something, and he turned and fell and really badly fractured his ankle. And I know that our liability did pick up on some of that.
Yeah, I would think. I just had 3 people fall today.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Is
but
everyone
everybody,
okay?
yeah, everybody was okay. But our driveway is just a sheet of ice. We got salt and everything, but yeah. So 2 were volunteers, 1 was the consumer. But everybody assured me they were okay, so we'll see.
You'll have to get those little creepers,
Mm-hmm.
hook on
Yeah,
shoes.
this
I know that,
weather's been so
yeah.
unpredictable, freezing and then melting and freezing and
Yeah. The ice has been very thick.
mm-hmm,
It doesn't have a chance to melt off and stay off.
mm-hmm.
But to your point, Kerm, we don't even have insurance that if other than liability, if a volunteer were to get hurt on the property at the food bank. That's all we have is that liability insurance if something happened. We don't have anything that is specifically for what you're looking for. And I'm not sure if any, I don't know of any place that does.
You know, with of course former my former life, I was cooperative extension,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with all the 4-H volunteers and so forth that we had, um, we did have insurance that would pick up above and beyond their personal insurance. Um, so I know it's out there and available.
Was
I'm just
it,
exploring.
did it come down through Cornell?
It came down through our insurance company that we had, um, and and they are actually the same insurance company that covered all the cooperative extension offices in both New York State and Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
So they were a fairly good sized operation.
Well,
We
that always,
worked with a company. We worked with a company out of Ithaca, PW Wood, and so my next step, if I don't hear back on and so forth, I'll contact them and see what they have and what's available.
well, if you discover anything, please share it out with us so that we can share it
Will
out
do.
further. All right, we're down to our last 10. Anybody that's been kind of quiet have anything they want to share or comment on or ask?
I did have a question it's the very first thing that I wrote down and promptly forgot it. Will there be any kind of not office, but equipment funding in this coming year?
What we have coming this year is outside of Service Insights on Meal Connect is just HipNap right now in our budget.
Okay. Only because we're thinking about, the glass coolers that
Mm-hmm.
they have.
Yeah.
We'd like to get one to put our dairy in.
To put your what in?
Our dairy, like when we have
Okay.
fresh milk,
I
yogurt.
swear you said Gatorade. So
Well, we could put that in there too.
I don't know how I got Gatorade from dairy, but keep going, Pat. Tell me more.
Did you listen to loud rock music as a teenager too? No, but anyway, that's what we're thinking about, maybe getting a glass doored one so that we can just bring the dairy out more at a time. So it's available and it has to be restocked less. It would make it more convenient. And if for whatever reason, I mean, like I said, we've been getting a lot of HepNap stuff that needs to be refrigerated. I mean, we could actually put, like our yogurts in there. Um, so we're trying to be creative with our space but if not, I mean, that's on our wish list.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we can start looking for a used one or
We have a very, very limited budget for equipment and repair. Um, and there's like how awards are determined is based on need. Has somebody seen a ginormous increase in people served and perishables out? Then they clearly don't have enough cold storage, so they're going to need more cold storage. Or someone had a catastrophic failure and the unit is not worth fixing. So they need that replacement. So those things are definitely going to take priority. That doesn't mean that you can't submit, and then we sit on it and revisit it once a quarter to see if anything else has risen, and if there's any funds at the end of the year that we haven't spent all of it, then maybe it could be funded then. But other than that,
I
it's
get it. I
really,
mean, it really is a wish. It's not a
I
need.
love that so much though. The idea of it's just what a wonderful display for folks coming into your pantry. It really would look more like a grocery store in that sense. I love that. So
Oh,
Don't
no, I just wanted to
harm.
ask the question.
Start looking for alternatives. See you later,
Yeah.
Kathleen. I don't know if you guys all saw her comment. Good to see and hear this group of dedicated, smart folks.
She was on a different call.
I know, right? I'm like, do you mean smart alecky? Because I know this group right here. No, you guys are wicked intelligent, and
What
I
is
learned
this
so
new
much.
project? They have the roaming grocery store. I can't think what it's called. It's Catholic Charities is sponsoring it. And I noticed that Spencer, they were going to Spencer Carm. Where are you? What is this about this roaming grocery store? It's not a mobile food pantry, but it's like a refrigerated thing that was on Channel 12 News. It it was funded through Catholic Charities. And I think it was for Tioga County.
I've not seen that. I have no idea.
Well, they mentioned you specifically. It was for
Great.
communities that were food deserts. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Spencer's got a grocery
Are,
store.
are you sure it said groceries and not meals?
It said, yeah, because they showed it. Maybe they're having meals too. I don't know, but they did mention, food deserts or store deserts or whatever that fancy
So
schmancy term is.
I don't,
Yeah.
it's not my story to tell, and I haven't seen the news yet, so I don't know what I'm allowed to share. Just know that Catholic Charities in Tioga has been really thinking outside the box and trying to be creative in
Well, this
some of these gaps in service and just get out to those really remote and rural locations.
even it was like it was at the end of last week that they had this segment about it, and I don't remember if it was the 6 or 11. It doesn't matter, but I mean, it really caught my eye, and I thought, wow,
Give Patrick a call.
well,
What they call it, Pat?
it was like I can't quite remember what it was officially called, but it was like a mobile unit, but not like a semi. Um, that would
I
go
think
to.
I think I saw something about it, but seems like it was like a good month or 6 weeks ago. I saw it on the news.
Maybe you did, but they just showed it.
Were they using a bus or something?
Yes,
Or a big, yes,
it was
yes,
like a bus,
a
and
bus.
it was
Mhm.
sponsored by Catholic Charities of Tioga Tompkins, but it was for Tioga County.
Okay, so I just
I'm
here, let me grab this link, and since it's in the news, I'm gonna talk about it. Um, oh, wrong conversation. This is the right conversation. So what they have is they got a food truck, and it's a mobile cafe. They are
mobile
taking
cafe.
their community meal and they're putting it on wheels. So they're
Oh,
basically converting their community meal into
mhm.
they're portioning it off into also a food truck. So now they can take these prepared meals out to locations and free meals. It's HIPAA approved, and they have to follow all of the food safety guidelines. And yeah,
Hmm.
Hmm.
they've been
Interesting.
working really hard for this. When they lost their original space up on Roki Boulevard, and the new space they moved into didn't have a kitchen, that's when their wheels started turning. Like, well, what are we going to do? Yes, they found space at the fire department, but their wheels kept turning. They're like, we want to go on the road. And they did it. So they have a food truck with prepared meals. I just put the link to the news in the chat if you guys want to check that out.
Be in competition with we've got a mobile truck that parked on the corner right there most days.
You do?
Yeah,
Are yours
not
free?
free. Not free,
Oh.
no.
Oh,
Yeah. See, this not going to be much competition there.
Um, who does that one?
One of the Aharts.
One of the Aharts. Your
Yeah,
Spencer, it must be Spencer Aharts.
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So cool things out in Tioga County. All right. Down to our last minute or two. Any last comments, questions, concerns? Kudos.
Mhm.
Do you have, Amanda, do you have like a 15-minute block of time anytime this week that I could lay an issue on you?
Yeah.
Okay. When would be a good time to call you?
Mm-hmm. You can give me 2 shakes and oops, I want to go to today. And bum 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 bum. Oh, you know, it might actually be Tuesday or Wednesday after lunch, like after the lunch hour.
Okay. All righty.
And if
Thanks.
that fails, then I don't know. I'll throw some other times at you if we can't meet up.
Okay. Okay. I have barnstormed something and I want to run it by you.
Devin may have other availability too. So if you are interested in, using him as a soundboard too, feel free.
Okay.
All right. All righty. I think people are leaving us. So anything. Oh, before I forget, Friday is Bree's birthday. So if you
Oh,
want to shoot her a message, a call, text, email, blast it on social media, or just put it on the news, the ticker tape on your local channel there, Kerm. It's Bree's birthday. All right. That's it. That's all I got.
all right. Thanks.
Thanks so much, guys. You guys take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.